Hi everyone, it's Roger here from What's On at DisneyPlus.com. A quick news update for you guys on how the Disney channels are just continuing to lose viewers. But before we go any further, make sure you do hit that subscribe button to keep up with the latest Disney Plus news. So over the past 10 years or so, we've really seen the world shifting over to streaming as the primary way that most of us watch television. And the key thing here is youngsters and kids have done this at a much higher rate than older audiences. Older audiences that are used to kind of going through the channels and have been watching television in the same way for the maybe decades are much more like connected in with the system and much more likely to continue those habits. Whereas young kids have grown up with streaming as the default. They don't know what it's like to sit there at 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning waiting to watch the latest Spider-Man or X-Men cartoon. They can watch it whenever they want, when anything comes out. They don't have to wait for the ads in the same way that we did when we were younger. And so as we've seen, the viewing numbers for traditional channels has been dropping. Now this is across the board. Now this is not just Disney channels, we're talking the main core channels like ABC, CNBC. Same things happening here in the UK, and most of the big networks have even started closing down their television networks. And Disney has done this around the world. They've pretty much got rid of Disney Channel in many countries like here in the UK. But in the US, they still got their free core channels, but those viewer numbers are continuing to plummet. Recently, Nielsen has released its primetime ranking for broadcast, cable, and premium channel networks in the United States for 2023, which has shown that children's networks like the Disney Channel, Disney Junior, Nickelodeon, and others have once again drastically lost viewers. In 2023, the Disney Channel was just watched by 132,000 viewers, while Disney Junior was slightly ahead at 133,000, while Disney XD was only watched by 32,000 viewers. Now it should be noted that Nickelodeon was the most watched children's channel with 190,000 viewers, with Cartoon Network sitting at 146,000, all of which are down on last year. Nickelodeon is down 34%, the Disney Channel is down by 26%, Disney Junior by 27%, Nickelodeon Junior by 34%, and the Cartoon Network is down by 19%. By comparison, in 2015, the Disney Channel was the 9th most watched network in the United States with 1.7 million viewers. But that was still down 9% on the 2014 viewing numbers. Now we've recently seen Disney make a new deal with Charter where a number of Disney channels are no longer going to be available, including Disney XD and Disney Junior, along with Freeform, and we're expecting that's going to be happening to other networks as they shift over to the ad-supported version of Disney Plus. It makes sense, really, as the cable providers start providing access to Disney Plus with ads, we're just going to see those channels coming down. And ultimately, it's going to come down with these channels to how much money they make for Disney. At some point, they're going to get to a point where they're just not making enough money to warrant running them. And I think, as we get through more carriage negotiations in the coming years ahead, more networks are going to be dropping those channels that are no longer being watched by enough people to warrant it. Instead, they're going to get access to like Disney Plus. Kids today are just watching Disney Plus much more easy. It's just so much easier for them to do so. And why wouldn't it? It's a much simpler system. You don't have to wait. And actually, ironically, people that are watching these Disney channels and the Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network and stuff, primarily they're older audiences, they're adults that are watching it. Again, that's out of habit and just kind of wanting to have something on, put it on. But yeah, we're really seeing a change. Whether or not this year is the year that Disney Channel in the US goes, I don't think the Disney Channel is going to be going anywhere in the US for a while. I think that one's going to stay as a core one. I think they're going to want to keep that going. But I definitely feel like at some point XD and Junior and some of the other little channels are going to be gone, and they're just going to focus on those 4 channels which they've made priority with Spectrum. I think that's going to be the model that they use otherwise with other carriage networks and stuff. But yeah, Disney Channel numbers have just continued just to drop. And some people might say, like the quality of the shows and stuff. But these are aimed at little kids and stuff. Most of the stuff that's on there. And also with the viewing numbers coming down, they're less likely to put more money into it, but it kind of swings around. But the fact that every single network is down is just showing how linear is just declining and how people are just watching it less and less and less. I know I'm watching a lot less on linear anymore, and that's kind of a thing that I think just now younger kids just don't know any different. They're not just going to sit there and go through the channels like we used to. But let us know what you think of all this in the comments below. Go check us out over at What's On at DisneyPlus.com. Like, follow, and subscribe, and I shall see you guys soon. Laters.